Hello and good morning. Happy Thursday to all of you. Thank you for joining today's Thursday call, which is a Q&A platform. My name is Star Johnson. I'm one of the national trainers here, and I have my lovely co-host,
Tina Bradford, one of the other national trainers here.
Absolutely. And we're so happy to be here with you today. We're going to kick off something a little bit different for you all today. We heard some of your concerns, some of the questions, and some of the things that you all are looking for. So we're really excited to do this presentation for you today. But before we begin and get into today's segment, I want to make sure that everyone can see the screen that is presented. It is the Mortgage Coach website where it reads the modern mortgage experience. To the right of your screen, you will locate a webinar control panel. Within that webinar control panel, that's how you and I and Tina will have our dialogue throughout today's presentation. So if you have any questions, feedback, comments, and or concern, please pose those items in the question feature within the webinar control panel. So let's kick it off to make sure that you can locate that webinar control panel. So to the right of your screen, please type in that area what company you're from, maybe your name, or what city and state. So that webinar control panel looks just like that. If it has collapsed, please press that orange arrow. So we have Prime Lending. Diane, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. We have a lot of people on the call, so if you would like to share, that would be great. So that way we know everyone can hear us and we can move forward in today's presentation. Hello, Lisa Wood. Nice of you to join us today. Okay, as we do every single Thursday, we want to kick it off and say, because this is a Q&A platform, if there's any questions that you have that you would like us to address, right off the bat, please pose those right there in the webinar control panel. But we've worked with our support experts, and a lot of people have come in our support box. Hello, Frank. Nice to see you from Home Street Bank in Glendora. So, a lot of people have reached out to our support experts, and they really want to know how you do those open house presentations. So, we're going to show you how to build an open house presentation. And Tina is so good with her marketing skills. She's going to show you how you can market that open house presentation as well. So this is what it looks like on the mobile. So we're demonstrating live products. So here is Tina Bradford and her realtor partner, Eric. And she's going to demonstrate some of the things that you can look at for the property features on the actual app itself. So it's a little bit different of an opportunity, not giving your customers or potential home buyers or the realtor partner giving their customers a regular ancient, what is that, open house flyer, the piece of paper they just print out. You don't get
printed PDF.
Yeah, you don't get that digital effect to where you're looking at an actual presentation and also seeing the options that the customer are eligible for. You don't see that on an open house flyer, do you?
No,
Not the loan parameters, just more of the house and the features. But with giving your prospect buyers and customers that digital effect, they can see all of the options that they are allotted for. We have a 30-year conventional, FHA, and a VA. So your customers can make the right decision when they're moving into home ownership. What do you think, Tina?
I think you have pretty much covered that.
Yeah, so with I want to know from those who are on the call, how many of you currently have your mobile apps downloaded on your device?
And we can just see a show of hands. There's a little hand there. You can raise your hand for us. Let us know if you have them downloaded.
Perfect. Some of you do. Now I can really tell you that the actual mobile device is very imperative as you being a member, because you may not always have time to be in the office and build. For our iOS users, you have the ability to build your presentations using your iOS devices, iPhones, iPad mini. That's forthcoming for our Android users. That will be sooner rather than later. But for our iPhone members here, you can also edit. So when you're out in the field, when you have an alert or you need to make any changes for rate changes, I know when Tina was out in the field, she was always making some changes for her doctor whenever it was for the better and the customer's benefit. So you can do and make changes right on the fly. So that's why having those mobile apps are very instrumental. And you can also do live reporting as well. So, want to talk to you guys about that a little bit, about the mobile apps and talk about what we're doing. So, we will be presenting to you how to create an open house flyer presentation. So, I'm going to kick it off to Tina, but please let me know if there's any questions in the webinar control panel that you would like me to answer. I definitely will before I give that kickoff to Tina. But it looks like she's ready, and it's all on you, Tina.
Great. So if you would like to work alongside of me, I would love for you guys to go ahead and go into edge.mortgagecoach.com. So go in there and we can work alongside together and put in your credentials, log yourself in. That'll bring you right here to the landing page. And I know it's been a little while since we've actually talked about these two goal set spots. So we are working with the partner goals. So here's what I suggest. I actually was a lender. I worked with a couple of big banks. When you are there, you should have at least 5 go-to realtors that you should have in your goals. 5 at minimum that you know are giving you business, you're passing business back to them, because in the end, it's that give and take that you really can do in order for the clients to build up that rapport and trust you, or the realtor to build that rapport and trust you. So when you go in here, you can set whatever goal you want. And basically, this is how many presentations you're building. So if your goal is you have 5 realtors and your goal is to have 2 presentations a month for them, 2 open house presentations. So that's 10 a month for 5. So that's 50 a month. That's a lot of different presentations that you're going to be building. So put those goals in there, and that way you can mentally see where you're at as a check-in. So you can try to meet those goals. And of course, we know the more contacts, the more likely that you're going to close more deals. So when we are in here, we are, again, going to be working with this partner area. This is the area for your realtors, your CPAs, anyone that you work with that passes you business or that you do business and pass them referrals. We are going to go up here to the top menu bar and click on the new partner. New partner section brings you right to this first screen. This is all about the realtor. And I did a little pre-research and pulled over some realtor information. I asked one of the people in the office, where should we work today? And he said in Washington. So we're going to work in Spokane, Washington. Is anyone on the call in the Washington area? So if you are, let me know if you're in the Washington area. Let me know if this is a realistic house here. So we are going to be working with Todd Sullivan. He apparently is one of the big hitters up there. Portland, Oregon. Ian, that's close. So let's add Todd's name, and you'll add your realtor here. Now remember, the red lines, those are those required lines. So if you want to build a complete presentation, you do want to make sure that you have those little red spots in there filled in. Now, you also, for me, the more you fill in, the more your presentation is going to be complete. And you'll see a lot of times when I'm working with realtors, I'm basically using the copy function and I'm pasting. Couple of reasons. It's not just for speed, but also because this way I know that I get their information right. So I'm not, typing it in, so there's less chance of there being an error. Now, referred by, if you do have a referral for this person, you'll want to add that in there. And then the friendly name. When I'm doing open houses, the friendly name, I always put the home address. And the reason I use the home address is if I do multiple presentations for one realtor, it makes it nice and easy for me to keep those presentations separate. So if I need to make a change, I don't have to dig through all the different presentations for that one realtor. Now, once we are complete here, we're going to click on this next arrow. Now, this next arrow, if my mouse works, There we go. This next arrow is also your save button. So by pushing this, it saves that first presentation information. Now we're going to place in the address. So we are in Green Acres. Has there anyone ever been to Green Acres? I haven't. I've been up in that area, but I don't even know where this is at. And zip. So once we are on there, we can click. Now, because I don't know where it's at, if I really wanted to know, I could click on this show map, and it would show me that location on the map. So it geolocates it. Moving to the next, now we're going to go on the basics, the information about the home. So the asking price, $998. Square footage is right here, 2260. Bedrooms, bathrooms, and then the link listing. This is the link up here at the top. So we can copy right there and place it in there. My mouse is going a little crazy today. Now we can add features for that home. I've already read through there, so I know a couple of things about the home. It actually is a single family, but it has a mother-in-law suite in the back. So we're going to add that down here.
And please keep in mind that there's 4 areas for your custom features. So you can freeform below, but make sure whenever you freeform content in the custom features, you check the box. If you do not check the box, they will not be shown under your feature area.
So I've added a few things in here. Once I'm happy with adding all the features, I can click on OK. Now, if for some reason you didn't want to show those features, we do have this little button here that you can come back and click, and it removes the features from the presentation. So let's go ahead and leave that on. Again, advancing forward to save. And now we have the different images. I'm going to demonstrate how I pulled the images off, but I do have some images already tucked away. Let me slide this over. This mouse is giving me a hard time today. So we can see there's some images right here. But this is how easy it is for me to pull the image. If I grab onto the image right here, I just simply drag it onto my desktop and drop it off. So it's nice and easy once you find the images you want. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and click on the browse. And they are all on the desktop, so we can see them right here. Now it shows the names on here, so I could go through and pick them. And let's see, what's the name start with, so I know exactly where to go. So the IS ones. And I'm not really concerned about what they look like because I'm just building it for you guys. Now, put your name down here. This is solely for you. So if you wanted to add living room here, you can add living room. If you wanted to be put a description, you can put a description as well. But again, this information does not show up on the presentation and is solely for you. We're going to throw a second image in there. And then a third, and I'm not going to add the name or anything at the bottom. So now I have my 3 images on there.
So one other caveat here, when you're uploading your images, you have the opportunity to upload 3 images. And of the 3, you're going to pick the best 2 because only 2 images will be shown on your final presentation on the browser and only 2 images are shown on the mobile. If you decide to print out your presentation, only the first image will be shown.
Beautiful. That's why I have star here. So now we're going to add products. The products are important because you want to make sure that this is relevant to the area that you're working in. So if I'm working with mostly first-time home buyers and an area with a lower cost for the home, I'm probably going to throw in an FHA, 5% or 10% down. If it's close to a fort or military, I'm going to throw a VA in there no matter what the cost is. I know that there's limitations on VA, but if you really dig in deep, you can do a VA loan for any amount. And then in this situation, because it is almost $1 million, I'm probably going to go with the 20% conventional, or 20% conventional. So let's just put conventional in here. And what I'm going to do in this one is I'm going to actually use points to differentiate between the different interest rates. So when I put the first one in here, I could use the templates and drop in a template, but I want to show you from scratch. So we have the purchase price already in there, toggling using that percentage. This allows it to automatically adjust when I use the percentage if I change the purchase price. And let's go with the interest rate. I'm not in a working environment, so let's say it's 4.25 and 360 months for a 30-year fixed. Now we're going to add closing costs, and I am going to throw in a template with the closing cost just for speed. So I have some crazy ones in here, but I want to make sure everything looks good. You want to verify this with your LE, and let me go ahead and make this big because we will only need this little section in a minute. Once everything does match your loan estimate, apply that to the loan. Now in the first scenario, I'm going to do 0 points. I'm going to add my prepaid days of interest. And if there is an amount that is required for earnest money, you can choose to put that in there, or you can leave it blank. I'm going to leave it blank for today. Now I'm going to come over and add HOA dues if there's any, and there's not in that home. Hazard insurance, I'm not sure what the rate is up there. Let's put 4.4. And then the property tax, I looked at the property tax and I know the exact amount is 505.5. So that is the exact amount. Because I know the exact amount on the property tax of that home, I'm going to put it in. If I was unsure, I would toggle over and use that percentage. That way, if the price changes, it changes as well. Now there's no mortgage insurance because I'm at 80%. And now I'm going to come down here and add my reserves in. And I have my first product. So now I'm going to add that second product. So the second product, let's say it's going to be paying 1 point. So conventional, 1 point. All I'm going to do is I'm going to copy it from that first presentation I did. Click on OK. Adjust here, so maybe it goes down to 4%. And then I'm going to come over and I'm going to add that point in there. So that is the only thing I'm going to make adjustments. Otherwise, the closing cost is going to be the same. All the prepaids, all of that will be identical for the two products. So now it brings me to the third. Now, if I was to add a third product, again, I could put in points in there. Or if they needed help with closing costs, maybe I put in a lender credit. The other thing I could do is I could put an ARM in there. Right now, ARMs are a great option. So maybe I place the 7-1 ARM in there. And again, I just use that copy from feature because all my closing costs are going to be the same on my ARM. But the only difference is my interest rate might be different. Maybe it's 3.75. And I need to come down here to the loan type now and place ARM in there. When I advance to the next screen, now I have all of my caps. And I'm just going to put caps in there. First adjustment with the 7-year is at month 85. Periodically, it can adjust to. It adjusts every 12 months. The max rate I'm going to say is 8 with a 2% margin. And then the index, I'm going to base it off the LIBOR. So this will be all based off information that you have when you pull your ARM rates. So all that information will be on your rate sheet. Now, if you do have a floor, let's say this loan can't go below 2.75. I can place that floor in there as well. We do have that scenario down here. Now, most of the time, most of your companies do base your LEs off of the worst case scenario. For that reason, we also automatically go to worst case scenario. However, we know most of the time it will be custom. There'll be some changes, but we want the client to know what's the worst case that it could be. That way they don't get into that same spot that we had back in the past and they don't feel like they were lied to. Advancing forward, again, closing costs will remain the same as well as the monthly cost. Now, if you wanted to get created, you could go ahead and add one more product, and I'll show you what I would do. 7-1 ARM. Let me erase this, but I'm going to put it best case. All I'm going to do is copy it from that one that I've already done and simply change in the bottom of the arm to best case scenario. Now I have 4 solid scenarios in my presentation. I do not need to make any adjustments to the closing cost or the monthly cost, so I can go right into the analysis screen. At this time, if you have any questions, this is a great spot to stop at and ask any questions on building the scenario. So I'll give you a minute. Any input here, Ms. Starr?
No, looks like we're doing good. And it looks like the question queue is all clear, so you can proceed.
All righty. So once you're here, now you're going to have to know your market a little bit on where you're at. You have that property appreciation rate here. So knowing your market helps you know what this is. So I'm going to change it to 4%. I'm going to use 4% because I know that's the national average expected. Now, I have had questions lately. Where does this reflect? Well, where you see this in the presentation is in that long-term net worth section. What it does is every year it adds that 4% and then it recalculates it to add 4% to that total. When it's doing that net worth, it's also taking into consideration the principal that's being paid towards the house. So it'll add it all up in that scenario. Short-term analysis month, we have it set at 60. So my suggestion to you is, unless you have a scenario where your clients do have a goal, a short-term goal, and they want to see the results, leave it at 60. The reason why is because it does match that TILA RESPA requirement of the 5-year total interest paid. That's exactly what is shown in this little spot. So leaving it at 60 allows you to stay in line with that TILA RESPA required. It also meets the same goal as a lot of the short-term investments have a minimum requirement of 5 years minimum. And so that would be short-term investment similar. And then the long-term, this is where you can get a little bit more creative, really talk to your client, dive in, or I know right now average is 10 years that a family keeps a home before they put it back on the market. So if my clients don't have a goal, I'm going to set it at that 10 years. And that way it's going to be more in line with the average American. So now I have everything set here. I'm going to move to that next screen. And this screen here is about the realtor. So again, I'm going to come over here and let's move this over. And I'm going to put in, I have all of Todd's information right here. So he works with Keller Williams. And let's see, any information in here, I'm going to pull over. But remember, this on the top part, this is in the presentation. So if you can find that information, make sure that you add it to it. So we're going to put his license number in there. I'm going to add his web page. And again, using that copy and paste allows for less errors. So I highly suggest using that copy and paste.
One of the things that I would like to add here is, let's just say in this scenario, Tina knows this person. But what happens if you're scouring Trulia, Zillow, Redfin, Realtors.com, Homeseekers.com, and you're just looking in different areas where you work or some homes that you've noticed that's been on the market. It's not selling. It's been on the market 90 days, 120 days, and you want to reach out and do prospecting for new business. This is a way that you can prospect new business to work with new realtors and really blow their minds and say, I've seen your advertisement, and maybe they have that paper open house flyer, but give them that digital experience. So this is another way, a great way for you to prospect as well. I want to know, for the lenders that's on the call, how many of you currently are working with realtors? And have you done an open house presentation? Let us know right there in the webinar control panel. How many realtors are you currently working with today? And have you created an open house presentation? Let us know. We want to hear from you.
And if you're watching the screen, I just showed you how to go through Redfin. If you go in that more filters, you can actually see how long the properties have been on there. Maybe I want as much as 180 days. So going up, you can see there's still homes that have sat there. This is also a great option for you to look at the seller buy down. So you can go in and do a seller buy down option and show the realtor that.
Great.
So let's go ahead and move back to the presentation. So now I have the information I want to put in here. Advancing forward, now I need his headshot, and I pulled that off, and I should have left this peeking out.
And make sure you put the entire address on your presentations. Make sure that you put in the complete partner's information, because what happens is the partner's information will be below with your branding. That's how you do the cross branding and the cross selling. So not yet, Frank, but I hope we have inspired you to start doing your open house flyers. Thank you so much for sharing. And tell the gang I said hello.
She went there not too long ago and did a on-site training.
Yeah, they were awesome.
So now I advance forward and I have that seller buy down option or the open house flyer. So that open house flyer is there already chosen. If I decided maybe because of compliance, your company doesn't do that best case scenario, just unclick it and that will take it off the presentation. I'm going to go ahead and leave it up there. We're going to advance forward. Now here's where you need to get a little bit creative. So the presentation title. A lot of times what I like to do, because I like to use similar verbiage that my realtor is using. So if my realtor puts something on here, like right here, one of a kind cottage craftsman on 10 acres in Saddle Ridge, this is going to be what I'm going to use because I know that the realtor is already happy with that verbiage. So I might make it a little prettier, add an explanation point, and I'm going to go right back here. And I always make sure that all the spelling's correct, capitalization, make sure that it looks good because this is on the presentation. Now, pricing label. This is the words that come right before the price of the home. So one of the things I like to do, a little secret, is I'll come over here and I'll see has the price dropped. Because if the price is dropped at all, I would list that on there. But I don't see anything about price dropping on here. So maybe I'm going to put the word only. Now we know $1 million is not an only price. However, mentally, when it comes to selling, when it comes to marketing, that's going to place the buyer in a little different mental position. Now payments, it does not. In this case, it does. So I'm going to erase the does. Make sure you're reading through all of this so it is right there and it fits your presentation. Closing costs are approximate and subject is changed based on the actual loan terms at the time of application. Once everything looks great, advancing forward, now I can choose my 2 rooms. And again, I only get to choose 2 out of the 3 that I put on here. So maybe the front of the home and the fireplace. However, if I do print it, it's only going to show this first home image. Moving over. Now this is the normal total cost analysis page you're accustomed to seeing. We want to add that quote date, protect you and your company, and then generate a link. And this is what the presentation will look like on your browser. One of my favorite things to show it on is actually the iPad or one of those little smart devices. It shows up really pretty. So on the presentation, you're going to do the same thing you do with like total cost analysis. You're going to go through and you're going to highlight any part of the presentation that is most relevant. In order for me to highlight, what I'm doing is I am placing my mouse over the cell that I want to highlight, and then I am pushing that left mouse button. That allows me to highlight that. And maybe I'll come down and highlight the monthly payments. Now here on the payment streams, you will have a payment stream on any ARM product, because what it does is it shows those adjustments and what that interest rate is going to adjust to. On the conventional products, we do not have a payment stream unless you add in there they're going to start making a payment, extra payment, or doing some kind of reinvestment in there. That's when you would see a payment stream on them. And then the fee details. This goes into those closing cost fees for your client.
One of the great things is when you're building your presentation, when it comes to the closing costs, you can group all your fees in a bulk. But when you do that and you do not pull from any fee template that you have created, or if you do not itemize one by one working from a fee worksheet, you'll notice on your presentation, whether it's an open house flyer or a total cost analysis, purchase or refinance, that button that Tina clicked on, fee details, it will not be there. So when you have a new home buyer, it is always a great practice to make sure that they know exactly what the cost and fees for that particular product and transaction would be.
Beautiful. You can see over here as well, the product features are located on the right side. It is co-branded down here. It has all my information, and then it has all of Todd's information that I filled in. You can see where there's some blanks in here. If I would have filled it in completely, all of those would be in there. On the top, we see that headline, and you can see even though the headline I used was really long, it all fits nicely there. We have it centered, so no matter how long or how short that your title is up there, it does fit in there nicely.
Now, please keep in mind, Tina got a little carried away with that title over there, but you will see it like that when you have the digital experience. But if you print it out, make sure that your title name stays within 16 characters or less, because it will cut off from the margin. So when you're doing that dynamic experience like this, or how Tina likes to show it on an iPad, maybe have an iPad circulating in the open house or your laptop so they can see. But if you print it out, please be mindful it has to stay within 16 characters or less, or the title will cut off in printing.
Thank you. And what I suggest is I actually suggest you never print out an open house flyer.
Yeah, no.
I suggest you have an iPad or a laptop, something there while you're in the presence of the open house. And if you do choose to print something out, create a separate total cost analysis. And that total cost analysis could have just this information on here on the basic products to compare. The reason I suggest that is it is broke down a little bit better for the total cost analysis than it is the open house flyer. And you can put a lot of the similar information on there, but now you're giving and showing not only your client or your possible client two separate presentation pieces, but you're also showing the realtor the diversity you have in creating presentation pieces.
And if you have those mobile apps downloaded, there's no need for you to kill trees. All you need is that prospect's cell phone number, and you can text it, and they can play around with it on their phone. How cool is that?
And you can see it didn't quite download right on the phone, and it's only because I am hardwired to my computer, and sometimes there is a little glitch with the iPhone. But what I wanted to show you now was recording video. You have the choice of recording video on two separate things. And Star, do you want the computer or do you want the iPhone? She's trying to run away and say she has to go do her other training right now, but I'm going to make her come over.
You're not supposed to share that. Always throwing me underneath the bus.
It's only because I love you.
Oh, Tina. Okay, so I don't know if you guys noticed, but whenever you are building your presentation from the partner all the way down a presentation, Tina selected preview. And when she went to generate that link, she secretly clicked on add audio and video. That's why you see this record message right here below. So if you want to add a message to your prospects or borrowers, you have the ability to do it on your browser, but we always recommend that you do it on the mobile. Tina has the mobile. She's going to show you how to add video from the mobile, because you can do a quick little tour, like a little virtual tour of the home, and go through the different rooms. So I'm going to click on record message here so I can be on camera. But the reason why we say use your cell phone is because you may like the quality a little bit better on your cell phone versus the quality on the browser. Now we have lighting here, but so the quality is a little bit better on the browser, but you really would like it on your mobile when you're doing those selfies and taking pictures of your family and your loved ones. So Tina.
Okay, so when you're in your phone, you will click on, and I'm going to go back just so you can see where I went. Maybe. This phone doesn't always like me.
Do you throw it underneath the bus?
Only you. So you're going to click on partners. Again, we're working in that partner section. So clicking on partner. And now I'm going to click on the realtor or my partner that I'm working with. And there's an alert that, hey, someone's looked at our open house flyer. So yay us. I'm clicking on Todd. And this will bring me to this page. Now I need to choose which presentation I worked on. I did that open house flyer. So touching open house flyer. And the second option there is video. So we're going to click on video. I do have an extra screen just because I am hardwired. Clicking on there, and that brings up the video. So as she was saying, we do have great lighting in here. And the great thing about doing it on the phone is I could be walking through the home, and I'm going to walk up and around her, and I could do the presentation while I'm doing that. When I record, I'm going to click on that little red record button, and that starts my timer right there at the top. So then I'm going to go, hey, thanks for joining us here and the address. We appreciate you joining us. Let's go through and walk through the home and show you a couple of the great features we have here. So in this home, we have this dynamic kitchen. Is this a kitchen? Nope, it's not a kitchen. You can't tell what it is, but
it's a backdrop.
It's a backdrop, but I was hoping it was a kitchen. So you would go through, and she's laughing at me. You would go through and you would show them the home. The other thing is if you are there with your realtor, you would be all happy with the realtor. So today we are showing you this home. We want to make sure that you understand this is only an estimate, but this is how cheap you could get into this home for every month payment. The lowest month payment would be, and I would go ahead and let them know, but I can't read.
It's a $9.98.
Okay, and so please let us know and leave your name and phone number and contact information so we can do a customized total cost analysis for you and your family. Thank you again. This is Tina Bradford and
Starla Johnson
joining you from the home. Clicking on the stop always leaves that beautiful picture of me, and use video. That's why she always gives me the phone.
So it's that easy to do it on mobile. So you'll give it a couple of minutes to upload that video on your dynamic link. And
yes, Alex, may the 4th be with you.
Her Star Wars gear here. Princess Leia over here. So also you'll give it a couple of minutes for that video to upload on that dynamic link, so your customer has the ability to not only review it on their mobile, their iPad, and also on the browser. Same thing with the browser here. You can click record to start that message. Click record once when that message is complete. You can also erase that message and start over again. Maybe you need to do it 1 or 2 times. And if for some reason you are camera shy, we have to always be on camera. But I'm telling you, at first I was so against it. I was like, no. But now she always throws me underneath the bus, so I have to be ready. But If you want to record audio only, so like sending a voicemail message to the customer or just or the prospects, you can do a voice over only. So it really depends on up to you and your comfort level. And we do have a great MC playbook guide. You will find some handouts in the webinar control panel, but in that playbook guide on pages 35 through 38, it shows you how to add video from your mobile and also some of the things that you need to look out for when you're making your video. So make sure your video is within 1 to 2 minutes. Even though you can do a video up to 5 minutes, you don't want to lose your audience. You want to just do a quick hit and a call to action. But we talk about best practices. What are some things you need to say? Make sure your background is clutter free. Make sure no one's going over your head with a wire cord. Make sure that your energy is upbeat and just be direct with the customer. But always look into the camera and give your customers eye contact, and make sure that your finger is by the stop option. So when you're done recording, you can just hit it with your hand and you're not looking around to stop the recording, and just be you.
And be assured, I know that there's a little glitch with ours, and once in a while you'll see us pause, like right there. And this is only because we have so much attached to our computer. Right. Yours should not be doing that. If you do have that little glitch going on, you need to close down a couple of the programs. So if you look at the memory space that's being used on your computer, that is typically why it's having that little glitch. So we want to make sure to not do that. And one of the best ways to do it also is by using your phone to record it. And one of the other things I suggest is if you are doing an open house and your realtor is expecting it, send it to your realtor. Let them review it beforehand. This way they feel like they're part of the whole process. One of the number one complaints with realtors is that loan officers do not communicate enough with them. So we want to make sure we are communicating. So I'm going to go into Todd, and I'm going to click on my open house flyer again, and I'm going to click on that little piece of paper with the arrow in the upper corner. Now Star can also send it from the computer, so she can click on share. You want to move me over? There we go. And there is that dynamic link that she can share it from. Other places you can share this. Definitely share it on your Facebook if it is within compliance. We are totally about compliance with your company. LinkedIn is another great place. Anywhere where you have several different realtors and different possible clients. This will allow you to get that market, get it out into the market so other people can see it. And the reason why I say other realtors as well is because they might love your open house presentation, or they might be representing buyers and they might see this home and have a buyer for it. Once I'm on here, I have that choice. I can email it or I can send it via text. We suggest text messages. Research shows that texts are open about 60% more often than emails are. So sending that text to them is going to probably have them more likely to open it. Now, if you are texting it to them, let them know it will require you to download the software. The software is safe, number one, and requires minimum space on your phone when you download it. Anything else, Missy?
No, that's it. If you have any questions, please continue to filter your questions in the question feature. If you want to tell Tina once more, may the fourth be with her, please do right there in the webinar control panel. But that's it. I'm going to go ahead and get off camera now. So thank you guys so much. Thank you, Tina, for allowing me to get on camera. So,
you're welcome.
Bye, guys.
So let's go ahead and wrap it up if we have no other questions. I'm going to pull that phone off and we're going to get rid of Todd here.
You want to show the learners where they can access our quick start guide on our website?
Absolutely. So if you were to go to the mobile mortgage coach site, and that's mortgagecoach.com, we actually have several different things on here. So if you're unsure of how to download, this will give you that downloading for either of the products. Here's the connection part. This shows you a few different things. It'll show you some partner information, maybe how they do a total cost analysis. It'll show their videos. So it gives you some ideas and how they are doing best practices. Testimonials are, testimonials. Then we have our calendar that shows you what great classes we have up. I always suggest that Tuesday call. That Tuesday call is with Dave Savage and an industry professional. So he has great people come in here. It helps you keep abreast of the topics that are hot in the industry right now, as well as it gives you some best practices and how some of the high producing loan officers are using our product to drive even more business. We have news information and then the basic total cost analysis that shows you several different presentations. In the member services support center, that is our keyword search area where you can go in. You can type in any keyword in there and it will actually take you to a part of the presentation that shows you how to build it or how information, like, let's say, for example, if you're using Rate Watch and you want to know how to read that graph, that's called a candlestick graph. If you type in candlestick, one word, and push enter, it'll bring that information up. Coaching calls is information just like we're doing now. The quick start guide is the one she was talking about. This gives you the information quickly on how to download, total cost analysis, creating it. What else?
Also, how Tina was highlighting, so how to highlight in real time, how to share the presentation via text message, how to duplicate a presentation for a new customer. So you have a lot of great information, but the reason why I wanted her to go here is because when you click on this awesome MC Playbook Getting Start guide, once you click on it, it is beautiful. Our marketing team really worked very hard on this particular guide. It's nice. It's colorful. But if you scroll down to pages 35 really quickly. Perfect. And scroll up just once more. The steps that Tina just went through, how to add video from your iPhone or Android. It's right here for you. Do it the same way to make sure your video is successful. And right below how to add is the video checklist. So what are some of the things that you need to say? So always mention your referral source and educate your customers. So this is that little quick hit of some of the things that is good for you to say when you're making your video. But at the end of the day, just be yourself and be professional and just make that human connection with those parties on the other side of the camera.
Great. So let's go ahead and go back here because I do want to show you, you can also log into Mortgage Coach as well as Rate Watch from here. So a lot of people are not aware that the login for Rate Watch is here, so you can go on the browser as well. So that is a quick little insert on how to do open house flyers. I do want to open up the floor now to any subject that you have questions about. We're still here to answer your questions. So if you have any other questions that you want answered right now, go ahead and let us know. And if not, then we are going to bid you goodbye and may the 4th be with you.
And we do have one poll question we'll like for you to answer as honest as possible. We always like to make sure that we are hitting all of your training needs. If there's anything extra, how we're doing, making sure that we hit everything for you. So let us know how you thought of today's presentation right here in the poll area. It really helps.
Boom!
It really helps us to continue to be a duo to bring you not only entertainment, but also a lot of training and things that will be impactful within your industry. So we're not actively in the industry because we left that alone. We leave that up to you, but we definitely live through you and embellish through some of your pain points, and we really try to deliver to make sure that you're leveraging Mortgage Coach successfully. So,
and if you do want us to review any of your total cost analysis, we're always happy to review them. You can send us an email at training@mortgagecoach.com, and one of us trainers will get on and look at your total cost analysis, give you some feedback, whether it's on the video, whether it's on the actual creation of the open house flyer or the total cost analysis. We're going to give you that feedback so you can make sure that you are building it bigger and better.
Absolutely.
So that looks like it for today. Thank you guys for your information on how we have done today. And we appreciate your time. I hope that you can go out and, because it is the 4th of May again, create some great connections and build your business by getting some more stuff in your pipeline.
Have a productive day, guys. Take care. Again, my name is Star Johnson.
And I'm Tina Bradford.
We look forward to training you in future training sessions, and we look forward to seeing you next Thursday. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.